Hey, today we're going to look at who's ranking number one for divorce lawyer in Jacksonville, Florida, how much potential revenue these guys are making from ranking number one, and the third thing, how to actually beat them. If you are ranking in Jacksonville, or if you're a family law attorney, divorce lawyer in Jacksonville, what do you need to do to beat them? And even if you're not in that area, just learning from what's working in Jacksonville, let's get straight to it. If you look at the divorce attorney keywords, I always try to understand what's the average customer lifetime value of a client to a divorce attorney. And Google here estimates that the customer lifetime value is about $15,000. For customer lifetime value, what it means is simply if a divorce lawyer gets a client, how much that client is worth to the divorce attorney or the divorce law firm overall. So how much revenue does one client translate into potentially? And that's on average. Of course, some clients could bring in hundreds of thousands, whereas some clients just are going to get some free consultation from you. Yeah, but that's the ballpark average. And the second number I'm always interested in is how many people are actually searching for these keywords. For this search phrase alone, divorce lawyers, Jacksonville, Florida, this gets 300 searches every month. And also there are so many other variations of these keywords. Many people just type in divorce attorneys, Jacksonville, Florida. A lot of people just miss or skip the FL part, it's just Jacksonville. And actually most people will search for divorce lawyers near me. And if they are searching from your area, from Florida or from Jacksonville, they will find the same sites ranking number one. So Google is smart enough to know that. So in aggregate, taking all those numbers, like if you were to rank number one and combining all the search volume that there is, the number one business here will stand to get at least 1,000 visitors every month to their site, looking for divorce lawyers, looking for family law services. Google estimates the customer lifetime value to be 15,000. I'm trying to be more conservative and just using 10K as the customer lifetime value number here. And with 1,000 searches and with 2.5% conversion rate, meaning that 1,000 people land on your site, and 1 in 40 would actually turn into a customer, which is conservative, then that would translate to $3 million in annual potential revenue from just the client interest that you would capture by ranking number one. This should be super lucrative. Maybe you don't even have enough lawyers in your firm to service all of this revenue, although I think most businesses do. You would still be able to be pickier about the jobs that you're going to take on. You could skip the jobs that you already know based on a phone conversation or based on the first contact that are probably not worth your time. You can skip those and you can choose the high net worth individuals if you want to, or the people that are the nicest to you in their first point of contact. Anyway, this is highly lucrative, and ranking number one, if the revenue potential here is 250K or 3 million a year, you don't need to invest that much to get that position. You just need to invest depending on the competition, you just need to put serious effort into it, but you do not have to spend this much money to get those rankings. The ROI usually is quite significant. If you just take care of your SEO, if you work with it for months, it's not a short-term thing. You need to work with it usually for at least 6 months. Usually you see the first results in a couple of months, but significant results are going to start to come in after months 4, 5, or 6. And then it just starts to compound. SEO is like a compound investment engine. Let's get straight to their evaluation. The company that's ranking number one is these guys here, IC Callis PA. And they're sitting in the first position right after the sponsored results. And by the way, if you don't know, most people that search for these phrases usually press on or to one of these three sites, and the first result, of course, gets the most clicks usually. And now if I want to understand how are these guys getting the first position, what did they do to deserve this position and to rank number one here? I am assessing this based on 9 of the most important factors for local SEO rankings, for Google Map Back rankings. And I'm assessing them on a score from 0 to 5, with 5 being the highest score. And if they get a 5, the number here turns red, meaning that it's quite hard to beat them. It's like a red ocean. And if it's green, on the other hand, the greener it is, the better, because then it's quite easy to beat them in that sense. The first two things here are the average review score and the average review count. For these guys here, their review score is a 4.9, which is quite perfect. And I wouldn't consider 5.0 a perfect score because that seems spammy to a lot of people. People might think that you have bought those reviews. 4.9 is really good. Anything above 4.6, I would score a 5 out of 5. And they have at least 100 reviews. They have over 100 reviews. Anything over 100 is also I would give a 4 out of 5, because I've seen in some niches that the businesses that are in the most competitive niches, in the most competitive cities, family law isn't the most competitive niche. I would say personal injury law is one of the most competitive niches. There you might need thousands of reviews, but here you can do quite well. Even in big cities like Jacksonville, Florida, you could do quite well with a few hundred reviews. I would give them a 4 out of 5 in terms of review count. But in this particular city, with these numbers, this seems to be okay. And once again, people usually base their assessment who they're going to pick on the amount of reviews. If you have 103 and these guys here have 1,000 or 500 or something like that, if the ballpark is different, if the review count is very different, they're also that they're going to want to pick one of these two here. But right now, the ballpark is about the same. In the review counts are in the hundreds and they have the highest score here. And 4.9, that seems legit. Now, if we could look at the next thing here is Google Business Profile Optimization. And in order to assess that, I just want to open up their Google Business Profile here and see what are they doing. The first thing I see is that they have their name here and they do not have the family lawyer or divorce lawyer in their profile name. This is a weakness. If you were to compete in this particular city and if you submitted a doing business as and add family lawyer or divorce lawyer to your business name, then you would have a huge advantage over them. This is a bit suboptimal for them. Now, if we look at their images, they have a good amount of images. They have images of their lawyers from the interior and the exterior of their office. This is well done. They also have their address, their phone number, their reviews. I also checked their reviews. They only respond to negative reviews. I would also encourage you to respond to positive reviews as well. Just thanking the client, thanking the customer for taking the time to leave a review. But overall, it's pretty well done. Like, they have chosen the right category, divorce lawyer here. If you are adding categories, you add a lot of categories. Because these guys, I know that they don't only offer family law services, they also offer other law services as well, like business law, corporate law, PI law, but they still have it here. And because I searched for divorce lawyer, it shows up here. This is well done as well. Their profile is pretty well optimized. There are some small nuances here, like having the name family law in the business name, but none of their competitors have it either. The competition isn't that high in Jacksonville for that sense. If you've seen my other videos about some of the bigger cities, almost all the top rankers have the main business name in their profile name as well. So that's why their profile gets a 4 out of 5 in my book. Now, in terms of citations, this is one of the most important factors as well with local SEO. And that citation just means how many times your business is being cited and mentioned on other platforms other than your own website. In order to check for this, I just Google for the main name and I take out their own domain name. I just want to see how many mentions they have online that do not include their own website. These are, you see here, Orlando Family Law Org, divorce attorneys. They are mentioned here. And some other Facebook, they have a Facebook profile. The more citations, the more times you show up on different places, the better in terms of citations. And I can check this from here, and I only see that they have 334. Again, if you have seen my other videos, you see that businesses in the most competitive cities usually have thousands. That's why I've given them a 2 out of 5. And this is quite easy to beat. In a couple of months, you would easily be able to have more citations. Of course, it's not just about the quantity, it's also about the quality, but still, it's not that hard to do, and we always take care of this for our clients. We want to make sure that they have at least a few thousand to make sure that they are one of the businesses with the most amount of citations. Now, the next thing is titles and URLs, and the on-page as well. We can cover these together. What this means is that, like, how well their on-page is optimized. If we go to their main page that they are ranking with, like here, if we go to the website here, then I want to look at, like, how well are their main titles optimized? Do they have the main keyword in the main titles? And how well is their on-page optimized? And with the titles, I use an SEO extension called Detail SEO extension. And I'm looking for mentions of family law or divorce law in their main titles. And I can see that in the meta title, they have family law attorneys, which is well done. They also have it in their meta description. But if I look at their headings, like the H1 heading is usually the most important. And this is here, Jacksonville Business Attorneys and Family Law Firm. Again, they have it here as well. But one of the issues that they have that I noticed was that they are ranking with their homepage for family law firm, and they have also a dedicated page for family law. They offer different services. They offer PI law, business law, bankruptcy, estate planning, and all different kinds of legal services. It's obvious that they have a second page, but they should still rather use this page as a landing page for their family law services Google Business Profile. They're not doing that, and this is a sign of weakness. This is also causing confusion for Google. Google does not understand which page to rank. Yes, they are number 1 in the local pack, as you can see here with Ahrefs. But if you want to look like where are they organically, and where you can see organic results is if you just look, this is the map pack. And if you scroll a bit further, you will see organic results. And you want to show up in both places to be able to maximize the odds of someone coming to your site. Because if they see your name here, and then they scroll down and also see your name here as well, odds are that they want to click on your results and do business with you. And now if you just use Ahrefs to figure out like where are they organically, not just in the map pack, but organically, the first time they show up is in position number 21 with their homepage. And then again, in position number 74 with their divorce page. Yeah, they have a lot of different pages covering about the same topic. And this is causing cannibalization, which I've discussed before. This is a huge issue for Google. Google has a hard time understanding which page is the most relevant page to rank for that particular keyword. That's a mess. They should have one page targeting one key service, one core service. And because they have a dedicated page for family law, they should use that to rank for family law. And the other law firms that are only doing family law or divorce law services would have an advantage over them, because then they could use their homepage to rank for those keywords. This is suboptimal for them, and this is why I've given them a 3 out of 5. Their on page, this is something I check with Surfer SEO, and their score is a 31, which is actually 2, because this is quite easy to beat. Like 31, even if you don't worry about SEO at all and start writing your page, then you would probably get 30. We usually try to get our clients' scores into the 70s or 80s and 90s if possible, because the higher your score, the easier it is for you to rank. The less citations, backlinks you will need. Now, talking about backlinks, the next thing is domain strength and backlinks. And the domain strength is not that bad because their DR or domain rating is 35 out of 100. And with local businesses, you don't need to have an extremely high score. 35 is already quite nice. We try to get our clients into the 30s or 40s. And some clients that have been with us for longer are in the 50s. What this means is that the higher your domain rating, the easier it is for you to rank with your service pages, with your skills, with everything. The higher the authority you are in the eyes of Google, Google will respect you more the more authority you have. And where do you get the authority is from being cited and being mentioned on other websites, and not just any website, but reputable websites. If you would get mentioned from different reputable legal magazines, like if you get mentioned from Forbes.com, from Business Insider, from different websites that Google knows are reputable and high authority, and if those sites link to you, they don't link to everyone. Most businesses don't have links from high authority sites. If you do, you're going to boost your profile. You're going to boost your domain authority and the overall rankings and the amount of customers you're going to get. Their score is at 35, and that's why this is quite good, and that's why I've given them a 4. And regarding backlinks is just like how many links they have going to their main page that is ranking, and because they're ranking with their homepage, they get a 3 out of 5. But again, like the mistake I told you about, like they have multiple URLs, this is causing some issues for them. Yeah, that's why it's just a 3 out of 5. Anyway, and the last thing is topical authority. If you remember some of my other videos, if you have seen them like about other cities, like Jacksonville here is the one I'm talking about right now. But if you look at the scores of our other cities, like most businesses in those other cities have mainly used topical authority as a huge ranking driver. And what this is just how many blog articles they have, how many service pages they have, basically how well they have covered their own main niche, which is family law, divorce law. How many blog articles do they have covering that topic? And not just the topic, but also the topic from a locational angle, talking about those topics and the nuances of those topics in your area, even if there are no nuances, like child custody law. Like if it's the same in your state, in your city, than it is nationally in the United States, you could still add the multiplier because potential client does not know that, and they want to know, hey, I need child custody. I have a question about child custody in Jacksonville. And if you target your answers towards Jacksonville, because most of your clients, almost none of your clients are going to come from, if you're in Jacksonville, are going to come from Seattle or from New York. They're probably going to come from your local area. So it makes sense that you target your blog articles towards your local area as well. Just to add some conviction to your client that this is local to your area, that you are talking about their area and they're servicing your area. This is going to boost your rankings, and also you're going to grab some more people that are going to come to your site. They have a question about family law or the services that you're offering. They find your blog article, they read the article, they build trust with your brand, they see your logo, they see that, okay, these guys are answering my question. And then if you have a call to action like, hey, get a free consultation, get in touch, then they can do that from your blog article. Blogging can be quite significant, can be a huge driver of cases for law firms if you do it right. And now if you look at how are these guys doing blogging, and the issue here is that yes, they are doing some blogging, but they don't really know what they're doing with this, unfortunately. And what I mean by that is that like they are just writing some articles based on what they think people are searching for, but like their articles, first thing, they don't have that many articles. They only have 24 pages that researchers can find here. And these articles, like if you look at the traffic, like only the home page is getting traffic, but then other pages here do not get traffic. Yeah, basically the traffic estimation here is 0. Although they have taken the time to write the article, you don't want the article to get 0 traffic. This is because they haven't done proper keyword research to find out what people are actually searching for, how many times per month, which keywords are searched for the most, what's the competition, and so on. Even if the keyword is right, they are not ranking. We also need to assess, can I actually rank? Maybe there's also already like a Wikipedia article or like some super high authority page ranking there, and the odds of you ranking or beating them are so low that it isn't really worth your time to rank organically, to try and rank there. I'm going to show another example of a business that is doing this really well. That business is called 1-800-LION Law. And look, they have almost 1,500 pages. And look at how much traffic, this is monthly traffic, how much traffic these pages here are getting. If you know what you're doing, if you do the keyword research, you can get a lot of traffic. You can get thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people coming to your site every month. You answer their questions, you build a lot of trust with them, and then you can subtly or naturally recommend them to use your services to get in touch with you to get a free consultation or whatever is your next step in the process of becoming a client of yours. Also, one other thing that you can easily do is if you want to beat Greek law, one example is that like you can start from the longer tail keywords. And by longer tail, some more specific keywords that can still be super lucrative. If I look at how many people are actually searching for high net worth divorce attorney Jacksonville, this is really relevant to you. Yes, it shows that the search volume is only 20, but even if usually it's way more because many people do not add the modifier Jacksonville here. They just Google high net worth divorce attorney. And as I said before, if they are doing this search in the Jacksonville area, they will find your business because Google is smart enough to know. Odds are that there are actually like probably 100 or more searches for this keyword every month, or even if it's just like in the 50s or 20s even. If you were to capture these searches, like high ticket divorces, these are high ticket services. These are the clients that you really want to get. And this is just one keyword. There are other keywords like that you could start going after. What I would recommend you to do if you are interested in ranking in Jacksonville is to start from these longer tail keywords that are easier to rank. Do that, focus on those, and also in the same time, focus on doing the same things that they are doing, but better. Just trying to get your scores better so that your overall score, of course, this is just my subjective system here, but the idea is still the same. Like you need to have your scores as high as possible to be the number one ranker in your particular area. And if you do that, if you can achieve that, then the potential value, potential revenue that you could earn from having these visitors is pretty significant. You would be able to have a more diversified source of income. It would be easier for you to sell your business if you want to do it at one point, because if you only get word of mouth referrals, and if you, the business owner, are going to leave, then maybe your referrals are not going to refer you anymore. So nobody is going to really be interested in buying your business. Or if you're relying not just on referrals, but also on paid ads, you know that paid ads is getting more expensive every day. If you also establish another traffic source like SEO and you figure it out, if you do that like with our help or by yourself, then you're going to be able to sleep much easier knowing that you have multiple sources of clients coming in. You have work for your team and you're getting new people interested in your services every week. I hope this was helpful. And yeah, thank you and see you again in the next video. Bye-bye. Oh, and before you go, if you are a family law firm and you want to get more high value cases, we're currently offering 30 days of free SEO execution, totally free, no contracts, no strings. We take the risk, not you. But because this is high risk to us, we need to analyze your website first to see if we believe SEO is worth doing in your specific location. So click the link below to get a free video audit of your site first and see if your city is still available.